everybody, welcome off the rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
Today we're going to be talking about a ton of books that came out this past week. We're going to recap, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations of books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. But before we do that, we want to give a special announcement because it is 2020, which means it's time to start talking about Valiant 2020 and the initiatives that are going on with Valiant. Why am I talking about Valiant of all companies? Well, it's because not only are they putting out some good books, but also because you out there who are watching have an opportunity to win a very special comic book. That's right. What we have right now is a 1 out of 100 variant cover
that's pretty
depicted
cool.
by none other than Giuseppe Camuncoli in what is known as the Fool's Gold variant for Quantum and Woody #1. That's right.
I was like, am I supposed to show it now?
I gave you 3 different ways to show
I know, I was like...
But yeah, no, this is the upcoming, and by upcoming I mean literally this Wednesday, Quantum and Woody #1, written by Chris Hastings, who you may like because he's funny and cool and wrote things like Gwenpool, not the later Gwenpool, the one you like. Although I will say, apparently, the other Gwenpool series wrapped up nicely. But yeah, so this comes out this Wednesday. If you want a copy...
Are there any rules?
There are very many rules.
Let's talk about them first.
Here they are. At the top of the show, you want to win this variant here, right here? Well, our intrepid moderator, Danielle, will be trolling this chat for anyone in the continental United States of America. That's right. If you are within the continent of the USA, which most of you probably are, though I do not want to slight those of you out there who are in our international audience. We do love you, and I promise you we will do a giveaway at some point in the near future where I will get something out to you guys and gals. But for right now, continental United States only, if you want to win this, use the hashtag GOAT. G-O-A-T.
Because it's the greatest of all time.
Not only is it the greatest of all time,
There's a goat.
It's my entry into Valiant. Quantum and Woody was the best thing that Valiant put out in the old school period of Valiant. And Chris Hastings doing a Quantum and Woody book, how could you go wrong?
Yeah.
I promise you, this is a really funny issue. I've read it already. It's really cool. Not this one, because this one is a very special...
Yeah, this one I didn't even pull it out. I was like,
don't.
I'm not going to do it.
You'll smudge it up.
It's also signed.
It is signed by Chris Hastings.
Yeah. So...
Fool's Gold variant. Not real gold.
No.
Fools.
Yeah.
Win it. Hashtag GOAT.
Yeah.
I will constantly remind you of this giveaway as we go, and at the end of the show, we'll announce who won. Only one winner. Because it's a 1 out of 100 variant. And if you don't want to miss the Quantum and Woody Renaissance, this Wednesday, run out, pick up a copy of Quantum and Woody for yourself. If you're watching the show live, like many of you are right now, we want to thank you so much for watching us live. And we wanted to let you know, I don't know if you got the memo, but you're our sponsor for today's episode. That's right. If you're watching the show live, you're sponsoring the show right now. And all you got to do your job, which is sponsoring the show, is use the Super Chats. If you use the Super Chat, you can make a comment, ask a question, contribute something to the show. We'll read it here on the show, and that goes towards this whole institution.
It's not your job.
It is not your job. No, my job is to do this. Yeah. Your job, such that it is whatever it is.
Yeah.
But your freedom is that sometimes you spend it with us. Mm-hmm. We do appreciate it.
We do.
But yeah.
So yeah, don't forget GOAT.
Hashtag GOAT.
Hashtag GOAT. Continental United States needs to be there. And if you could hang around till your name's called or to whoever wins,
yeah, please.
That would help. That helps.
Because that's how it works. Here's how it works. You use the hashtag GOAT. Danielle picks you out of the crowd. Then you're gonna have to email me your address, and I'll make sure your item gets to you. But you got to be able to live around here and also be contactable and be in the chat when the show is over. Mm-hmm. I guess that's a good stipulation to make. You have to be here at the end of the show.
It would help.
Well, if you're not there, it's gonna go to somebody else.
Ooh, okay.
Like it did last time. So, let's jump into it. There's a bunch of books that came out this week. I'm excited to talk about some of them. So let's jump into them. I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout, a little bit of a taste. Hey, Kay, here's something kind of fun that happened.
This happened.
The people who will not stop making Ghostbusters books for IDW, Eric Burnham, Dan Schoening, they have done another, I think it's a 4-part miniseries for IDW, called Ghostbusters Year One.
Oh.
The concept here is it's within the first year of Ghostbusters. I jokingly referred to it as the movie Ghostbusters, which would be Year One. But actually, apparently, the idea here is that the framework is there's somebody writing a book about the Ghostbusters, and she's interviewing each Ghostbuster about their first time on the job. And so we get Winston's interpretation of his first bust.
Oh, okay.
That's this first issue.
It's not him just cleaning the trap.
No, although he does reference it a lot. Because, of course, you have to do that. Yeah. But, it's
his
fun.
Job.
It's
like his job.
Well, he talks about how he was in the Marine Corps, how he went into construction. Then he quit because he was unhappy with the unsafe work conditions of the job. And he saw the ad for Ghostbusters and went there.
He quit for unsafe work conditions and then went and was a Ghostbuster?
Irony of ironies, I know. This Winston is a lot less cavalier, a lot more put together. Burnham's Winston, I think, is the protagonist of the IDW Ghostbusters series. And rightfully so. He's a military man, knows what he needs to do.
The hardest working member of the Ghostbusters.
Easily, because a quarter of them don't work at all. We're looking at you, Venkman. Yeah. But yeah, Year One Ghostbusters, it's fun. I recommend it if you love Ghostbusters. If you're interested in checking out Ghostbusters, everybody's like, oh my god, you gotta read the Ghostbusters. You gotta read Mass Hysteria, all that stuff. Wait. Check out Year One. That will give you a good indication as to what the book is all about, what it's like. Idea. So
that's great.
It's a fun book. I recommend it for ghost heads out there who like that sort of thing.
Great.
If you don't, you're not gonna like any of it. So, but yeah, I just wanted to toss that out there. It's kind of fun. It's a fun little book. I guess we could talk about, you know what, let me talk about Curse of the White Knight really quick.
Sure.
Because Curse of the White Knight is the sequel, of course, to Batman White Knight.
Right.
I thought it could have pretty much easily wrapped up within about 4 issues.
Is that a Riddler question mark sticking out the back of his neck?
No, that's just a tube. It's a tube.
Oh.
Sticking out of the back of Bane's neck.
Oh.
By this point, Azrael Batman killed most, if not all, of Batman's rogues. And then gave chase to Batman. Batman, of course, is teaming up with Harley Quinn, who's had her twins. The two of them go to face, because of course Joker released Azrael. It's a whole thing. But in this issue, we get the conclusion of Joker/Jack's story, and the continuation of the clash between the imposter Wayne and the one true heir to the Wayne lineage.
Oh, okay.
So it's here's the thing.
Is it as good as the first one?
Is it as good as the first one? I'd say it's as good as the first one.
Okay.
It's a little more ambitious than the last one. The last one was just Murphy just going here's everything I love about Batman, boom.
Okay.
This one is him crafting a narrative, and he's like, okay, so I put all the action figures that I love on the table. Now let me flip the table over, see how that works. And I think it does, especially because
all your action figures on the floor then, man.
I know, that's true. Yes, but you got that video of him flipping the table in slow-mo, and now it's gone viral.
Oh.
So there's a trade-off there.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ambitious. I don't know if it is as clever as it thinks it is being. There's a lot of stuff about Edmund Wayne and the lineage of the Order of Saint Dumas, and I don't know if I care about that so much. But I find myself still reading it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of parts where I'm like, oh, here comes a history lesson, gloss over. Oh, look at that. It didn't have anything to do with the story. It's intrinsic and important, and it's part of the whole thing. And if you want to care about the ending of the story, you gotta pay attention to that kind of crap.
Right.
But it's still it's serviceable, and I think it works. But the reason to buy this book is because Sean Gordon Murphy's art is incredible.
Okay.
Every single page has so much going on. It's so dense. It's practically Lucasian or Berman-esque. But there are so many moments in this book that I just adore, and they have just these classic Batman images where Murphy is like, hey, let me use some negative space and make it really dope looking, and he indeed does. I'm thinking specifically of Batman on the Batcycle, and he's talking to Harley Quinn, and clearly we're setting up a romance between Batman and Harley, which I would never have been okay with. I would have been really, really upset with. In any other continuity. Okay. I mean, I have a real problem with the Batman-Barbara Gordon relationship in the Timverse, the animated series universe. Too. Disgusting. But in this universe, the Harley thing, all right.
Okay.
Mostly because Harley is in control of herself.
Right.
You do also get some fun cameos. Jason Blood shows up. And he's
Oh,
important.
that's cool.
But he also doesn't,
Is he a priest?
Yes, he is a priest, and he is also, of course, possessed by the demon Etrigan.
Cool.
Cool stuff. But like you get beautiful vistas, ancient Gotham, swashbuckling heroes, villainous villains, blood, gore, cool cars, all the stuff you come to expect from the Murphy Batman verse, the White Knight-averse, I guess. Just good stuff all around.
That's cool.
But it's just a good-looking book. I love looking at it. And I enjoy reading it, but like I love looking at this comic.
Yeah.
Just great, man.
No, it looks amazing.
It doesn't it look amazing? It's just so great looking. Ooh. So yeah, exactly. No, and even then when you're reading it, you're like, okay, like there's a couple things happening in there, but like whatever. Okay. But also it's just so good looking. So there's no reason not to read it.
Yay.
So yeah, that's it. Curse of the White Knight #6 came out. Read it, buy it. I promise you you'll love it. If you don't buy this one, at least buy the trade. But let me say at the top of the show, because I know I don't want to eat up too much of our time, but I do want to say, in the comic book industry, how the companies make their money is through the direct market in individual floppy sales. That's how they make the money to pay their artists and their printers. That's where the money comes from. That is literally, and it's a broken system and it's terrible, but like that's how the money is made. The trade waiting, that's the gravy.
Right.
The floppies are the steak. You know, the trade is the sauce. That's like the extra stuff. Think of it this way. Think of it as when a movie releases a film on opening weekend. That's the floppy.
Right. Okay.
And the trade is the DVD sales, which no one talks about. Or even if you do, like when the movie industry talks about DVD sales, they're like, hey, listen, it was the highest selling DVD of all time or something like that.
Right.
And you never see a sequel to that movie.
Yeah.
That's why. Because that's the extra money that we make. It's all about the front end. So if you want your book to succeed, you must pre-order it. And I think that sucks, and I think it's a broken system, but that's the way the game is played. And you and I can't change it right now.
Well, yeah, not yet.
And the only way to hurt a book, if you hate a book, don't pre-order it. In fact, tell your retailer, I'm not going to be buying this book. You can order one fewer for me.
Ooh.
That'll definitely send a message. Because they have the direct line with those guys, and they will call that company and be like, I got another one.
Yeah.
Trust me, that's how you can make or break a book. So anyway, before, as you get ready for your next book, I wanted to read some super chats just to help get you ready to go, because Saud Althani is here in the chat. He says, greetings to you, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Whoa.
So lucky to have you. Thank you very much. Punk Pinata says, I love all your work, folks. I've been rewatching the Century episode, and I still have to laugh over Ethan's best quote, are you here to wreck me? Thank you, Punk. Yeah, I love that moment. So out of left field. Ethan's never made a joke like that. I love it. But yeah, thank you very much for checking out that episode. Raymux helping us out. Thank you very much, Raymux. And Cam Senses, I just wanted to thank you guys for recommending Sandman.
Yay!
It's not me. She recommended Sandman. I was there. and maybe I reminded you to buy it in the link description below. But she's the one who recommended that book. I just finished the original series and I'm blown away. Definitely my favorite series I've read. Yeah.
Yay! Now you can go into Overture.
Yeah.
Or pick up some of the other stuff that Gaiman wrote. There are some other Sandman tie-ins that he didn't write, but there are a few that he did, and I would recommend you grab those as well. There's also, if you dig the covers, like, I know you saw them, like, occasionally throughout the trades.
Yeah.
But there is an actual, like, entire, like, kind of graphic novel-like system that, you can grab that has all the covers in it. Cover art to it.
I remember,
so.
do we have that yet? I know that you wanted it. I
Remember.
think that I don't think we got it. Raj Patel says, hey, Sal and Tiffany, love the channel. Well, thank you very much. And the content you provide. Thoughts on Wally West's future? I think that he'll join the Suicide Squad if he hasn't already. I think that was the plan. But I think there's a crisis coming. So that's when I would worry about Wally West. Because, like, right now, Didio's dropping this timeline. He's like, everything happened. It's all here. Yeah. And you're like, right on. Okay, that's great. And he's even, like, referencing stuff he hates. And you're like, right on. Okay. But then you remember there's a crisis coming. And you're like, oh,
who cares? Yeah.
He's giving you everything so that when he takes it away from you, when he says, like, oh, by the way, Tim Drake was never Robin. Oh, by the way, like this, that, and the other thing. By the way, Wally West, never a Flash. Never, ever. Linda doesn't even exist anymore. Like, when they start removing everything, he's going to be like, but I gave you the timeline. The previous timeline has everything in it. Nothing went away. I gave it all back to you. And then I pulled the rug out from under you. Josh Castro
It's
says,
like friends.
loved last week's back issues, guys. So much fun.
Thank
you so
you.
much. We did too.
Yeah.
Very good time for back issues right now.
It is, and I gotta tell you, that last one, like, I'm glad it worked.
Me too. It was super long. It was super dense. It had a lot going on. And it was a new book.
Yeah.
A lot going on, and I'm very happy it succeeded. Dame56, are you looking forward to Strange Academy? That's a question for you.
Maybe.
Well, do you know who's working on it?
Well, for me, it's gonna be across the board. Maybe. And I just say that because it's like I need to know a little bit more about the book before I can make a decision about whether or not like I'm gonna be interested in reading it. I mean, I will check it out.
Sure.
But
it's hard to get hyped for Doctor Strange, given that like he has such a high profile, and yet they also seem to not care who works on him.
No, I think there's like a secondary care, and I think it's less we're not getting the people right now who have like I have a sweet story to tell.
No, it's more
him,
like do this,
and it's more like, hey, do you want to write this? You did it before.
Yeah,
go for it. So it's like for me, I'm waiting for that like person to come along who's got that passion story, and that happens like every once in a no, that has like that happens every once in a while. It doesn't always happen, and I understand it not happening constantly because it's like you can't always have the best of the best, and that's fine. But like that's what I'm excited for.
But Marvel should. If anybody could afford to have like the Yankees of comic books, just be like, let me just buy all the best players. Let me just pay for the best creators.
Strange has got to have a movie coming out. The fact that he still has a book, I'm like, wow.
It is kind of amazing.
So I'm like,
they did relaunch the number.
I really can't complain all that much. He still has a book.
Yes. Yeah, he's had a book pretty much consistently since Aaron's run.
I know. I'm like, so
that's pretty impressive.
And he was in a couple of books like during that time period, like simultaneously. So really can't complain.
Fair enough. What do you got? What's coming out?
I'm gonna briefly talk about Conan Serpent War #4, the end of the Serpent War, the Kingdom of the Worm.
The Worm with a Y.
Yeah.
Worm.
We basically find out. Remember, like James Allison and his many lives, and
yes.
Njord, and like Njord, he couldn't quite see the ending of that, and then he finally gets to see it, and he's like, "Oh, right, okay, I killed a serpent." And like that was the false memory, but like I did do that, but it was only to get the venom so I could go after the worm who like killed the worm god who killed my family and like my village and my everything. And like he shoots him and like thinks he killed the worm, but he didn't, and like he dies, but like he vows that like his ghost will come back.
Right on. Okay.
To kill him. And then we cut to like ancient Egypt or eternal Egypt. A place beyond time. That's what it says, and I feel like that's how I have to say it.
Sure.
But remember I said Conan and Moon Knight like disappeared from their like respective battles?
Of course.
Well, they're there, but like they're physically not there. It's like kind of a mindscapey kind of thing. And they see like Set battling Khonshu.
Yay! We finally get to see that.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. Like, Khonshu's all big, and then like he and Khonshu, or he and Set are like, okay, all right, enough is enough. I mean, like obviously this isn't gonna help us at all here.
Right.
The fact is, like, the worm is the big problem, and, like, we gotta do something about that. So, like, Khonshu takes Set and, like, crushes him in his hand, what's left of him, and he's like, I'm gonna use the rest of your energy, and I'm gonna handle this, don't worry, it's gonna be pretty awesome.
To fight the worm.
That Satine chick, who was, like, a priestess of Set, is like, Set's still, like, with us, and, like, he's within me, and I'm gonna help you during your battle, and, like, they get the band together back in, like, Stygia.
Okay.
So, like, you got Conan and Agnes and Moon Knight and Solomon Kane.
Yes.
So they show up, and they're all just like, all right on. And Satine starts telling us a little bit about the worm.
Finally.
And that essentially, oh, hang on real quick. I was like, wait, where's this moment? When Khonshu crushes Set.
Yes. Like,
Conan's like, cool. Snake's gone. And like,
finally,
you see Moon Knight look up, and he just says like, "Holy shit!" And it's like, like bleeped out. And Conan's like, "Indeed, indeed, yes,
yes, it is holy shit."
It's pretty badass. We find out that like, essentially, like, in some dimensions there is a snake god, and in other dimensions there's a worm god, and those two are constantly like battling one another for like control of dimensions.
Is this Zub?
Yeah.
It sounds like Zub is like kind of cleaning house. Like, I'll bet in like classic Marvel stuff, like they reference a worm or a snake, and it's like, no. It's all the same thing, but like over here it's this and over there it's that.
They are and they aren't. They are two different entities.
Right.
It's just one tends to be in one dimension and one will be in another dimension, and like they are always vying for power. And they do this really cool image of them like intertwined with one another,
Yes.
each eating each other's tails.
Right. Like the classic image of the snake eating its own tail.
Yeah,
but this
exactly.
time it's a worm.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And the idea is that like the worm is coming because our four warriors help to get rid of Set's foothold in this dimension. He's coming now. Now he can show up, and he does it. We see him a little earlier, and it's like not all that impressive. And then we see him arrive, and I'm like,
oh, that is impressive.
No, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
No, go away. I'd rather deal with the snake god who looks like a snake.
Right. This is
a horror show.
Yeah, this is a worm spelled with a Y.
He's got like 12 mouths and like all the eyes and like way too many. It's a lot of look.
Yes.
And I don't like it. And then they battle, and like it's written from James Allison's perspective, in which he was like, I was a writer and all this stuff in this life, and like I wasn't able to, and he like uses the power of word to tell their tale. He's like, the words I have aren't enough to tell how awesome this was.
Yeah.
Because it was so awesome.
Fair enough. All right, Zub, I can't argue with that.
Right, and they end up like killing the worm, and like they do so by like all of them like joining forces and doing whatever, and they realize that like there's an element of like, you know, sword and like, you know, fire and blah 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 and like space and stuff like that. And then like Khonshu tells Moon Knight, he's just like, it's like, Mark, now's the time. I want you to take the piece of the moon that is and every moon that shall ever be.
Okay.
And I'm like,
is that putting like the moon of Titan, or does he mean like each of Earth's moons?
Like the moon,
okay.
But like a multiversal moon,
right? The every moon.
I guess it's either a multiversal moon, or if you think about it, like the idea of like, you know, with like, you know, each setting moon or whatever.
Yeah, the all moon.
And he has like this like crazy like moon weapon thing that he like summons, that he like rips into the head of the Great Worm.
It looks very much like a Moon Knight weapon.
It is. It's very Moon Knighty. And then we see Njord, his ghost, show up.
Oh no!
Who says that like he will fight, like he will like protect the valley from the worm, and so like Moon Knight gets him, and then like this big space arrow, this space ghost arrow, shoots through him.
Yeah.
And they're able to like banish him back.
Sweet.
And like something happens to them as well, where they're all kind of set back to one another, like to where they go.
Yeah.
Conan like touches base with the priestess who's dying because like she had the power of a god within her, and like is like she couldn't handle it, and Conan's like, Set's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, no, he's not.
No.
No, he's not.
We just did this event where we killed him, but sure.
Yeah, everybody goes home, and like Agnes is back in the village that was like seemingly like, you know, under some sort of curse. It's not. It's totally fine. It always was.
Great. Oh.
Solomon Kane like also goes back and like is hired to go and hunt monsters which talk and walk like a man. And he's like, right on.
Okay.
Let's do this. And then we touch base with Khonshu in that place beyond time.
Yeah. And
like he's sitting there, and out of his palm he pulls Set. And Set's like, dude, you spared me. He's
right.
like, why? And he's like, because like if you are not here, then the worm will return. And it's all about balance. And like Set's like, dude, I would not have saved you. I would not have spared you. I would have killed you.
Yeah, of course.
Dude. And he's like, I know, but like that's what your role is.
Right.
Right?
You're the snake.
And then Set's like, I'm gonna eat Moon Knight. I'm gonna go after him. And I'm like,
right.
Dude, at least leave. At least leave and then think it to yourself. Like, no, I'm gonna get him. No, I'm gonna tell him.
I'm gonna warn him. Okay.
And then Moon Knight like is at home and he's nude and like he's talking to Khonshu and he's like, what have you done to me? And like he has like crazy eyes and he can see seemingly like all these ancient civilizations simultaneously.
Oh. So I guess he can like bounce between them now?
I don't know. And then as a follow-up, because it's like, oh, cool, we kind of got the ending of each person's story. We go back to the Thurian age, to Valusia, where like a strange, berobed, becloaked like figure arrives with like a gift to speak to the king of this castle that he's at. Yeah. And it's just like, cool. Like the guy in the robe's like, hey, I know who you are, man. Like everybody knows who you are, Cole.
Cole? Oh no!
You know, conqueror of the Serpent Men.
Mm-hmm.
And he reveals himself to be James of Lemuria. And I'm like, are you another version of James? Like Allison?
Right.
I don't know. But he brings him the crown of the worm, and the idea is that like, no, it's cool, we're gonna bring him back anyway.
Right.
So it's a really cool, like, old school feeling adventure for Conan and Moon Knight's in it as well. And, like, it really somehow works.
Right.
Because it's just Moon Knight being like, most other characters you throw back there, you gotta have that, oh no, like, you know, I don't understand your weird, like, old school ways. Moon Knight's like, I deal with a crazy ancient god. So, like, yeah, he's telling me to go here, I have to go here, I have to do this. So he's, like, way more on board for this crap.
Right.
And so, like, it really, like, the flow between the characters works. Agnes and Solomon Kane are simply there because of their association with the creator of Conan.
Yes.
But I think they were nice additions, and I think it's, like, an educational opportunity for those of us who are less, like, aware of that universe.
Yeah.
And I think, again, this is really a love letter from Zub to this universe.
Totally.
And, like, I think he did a really excellent job of balancing these characters and, like, really, like, putting the toys in the box, but also establishing this kind of cool multiversal element to Conan.
Yeah, and also, like, hey, do you want to see that? Do you want to see more of these?
Right? So I had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from Jim Zub.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Cool. So you recommend it then?
Yeah, I mean, if you like those kind of, like, you know, big adventures that, like, maybe it's not always all hack and slashing, but there is a lot of that going on, and maybe there is some of that, like, lore and history to it, but told in an entertaining and, like, engaging way, I think you might dig this.
Let's talk about some X-Men books. I know you read Excalibur.
I did.
So let's talk about that right after some super chats.
Oh.
Ultra Hero says, "This is my favorite channel on YouTube." Thank you very much,
That is
Ultra
so
Hero.
sweet of
That
you.
is very
Thank
nice.
you.
There's a lot of them, so we appreciate it. I've got deeper into comics because of this channel, and now I'm a Doctor Strange super fan. Thanks, Tiffany.
Yay! I don't apologize.
That's awesome.
For that.
Philip Croy says, anyone reading Strike Force? Wiccan's on it, so I guess I'll have to get the trade. That's funny. No, I'm not reading Strike Force, but Wiccan was. If you got to read books that Wiccan was in, then you have to read Death's Head, which was a miniseries that just finished up about a month or two ago. And Wiccan and Hulkling, I think, are both in it. You'll also have to read Empire, which is the upcoming Marvel event, which involves Wiccan going to the Kree or Skrull or whatever. Hulkling going to the Skrulls. Silvery Cricket says, I know it isn't on anyone's radar, but Metal Men has been fantastic. The concept of the story seems to be camp versus edge with a really compelling take. I've heard mixed feelings about Metal Men. I'm glad someone's enjoying it.
Nice.
What was it? Rory Groff says, stoked my new schedule this semester lets me catch this live.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Sal, would you recommend Silver Surfer Black? I picked it up the first issue, saw null, and immediately dropped it. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It's a really, really, like, fine love letter to, like, Space Stan Lee. Because Stan once said that, like, Silver Surfer was his favorite character. I see why he would say that after having, you know, because it's an opportunity for Stan to, like, become a writer as opposed to, like, you know, whatever he thought he was. But yeah, no, I dug it, man. I loved it. It was a good book, despite null. Authentic Apathy. Hey, what'd you think of Picard? I didn't watch it yet, but I did watch the Red Letter Media breakdown of it, in which the show apparently sucks.
No, we haven't yet, but, like, we're also kind of waiting for more of it to come out before committing to another subscription service.
No, I'm not paying for CBS All Access.
So much more.
Also, Tiffany, I love your hoodie. Also, when is Letters Page coming back? Also, hi, Danielle. Yeah, there's a great hoodie. It would be on our store, but we closed the TeePublic store. So forget that. We will eventually have a replacement for it, but for now, no TeePublic store. The only place you can get a ComicPOP shirt is actually below these videos. There's like a Teespring shop that has Harbor Patrol, our shirts in every variety, in black and white, and a little mini poster as well. So check that out there for now. But we'll get more as we go. But thank you very much. And Letters Page will be back soonish. Hashtag GOAT. You want this book, and you live in the continental United States, and you're going to stay until the end of the show.
And you just want a 1 of 100 variant cover here. There's only 100 of these. I'm holding one of them.
I have another one.
So there's only 99 of these.
There's only 98 of them.
There's only, well, no, this is one of the 99. Yeah, that's the 100th.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Adam Groves, glad you found time to read Conan, Tiffany.
I did.
Z-Berm, here's for keeping on being awesome.
We'll keep on.
We will.
Being awesome.
You too, Z-Berm.
Hopefully.
Taylor Pester, hey guys, just got home from the morning shift at work. Sorry about that. Did you read Shazam this past week? I can't believe the book has been on time these past few weeks. I've not. I can't believe that either. It goes to show my assumption was that it was being deliberately delayed. I'm happy that it's out. I understand it's really like ramping up towards the return of a classic character that everybody really loves. He can he can punch reality, and he can punch my interest in that book right out the window. So we'll see how that works out. And Eddie Eckenberg says, "Take my money, please." Gladly.
Yeah,
thank you, Eddie. No, thank you very much, man. The fake Grant Morrison's here, saying Zdarsky's doing a 4-issue what?
Just that, the fake Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Hey, what's going on? Zdarsky's doing a 4-issue FF X-Men mini. I wish he'd done the FF run, considering how great 2-in-1 was. Slots run wasn't bad, but 2-in-1 was an overall more satisfactory reintroduction to FF with only half the members. Yeah, I agree. I've always been singing the praises of 2-in-1. I think it's an amazing series. It was the best Fantastic Four book, and ultimately a mistake because it made Slots run look pale by comparison.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Zdarsky's FF X-Men run because not only will it be important, but it will also be incredibly well written. It's not like Empire where I'm like, oh, Al Ewing, oh, and Dan Slott too. Like, oh, like I don't know if that's gonna mesh well. Like, especially given what he's been doing with Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. Zdarsky coming back to Fantastic Four and contributing to the Hickman whatever is exciting. Valentino G, last week's back issues was great. Can they all last 2.5 hours from now on? No, I don't think the show can't support that much.
We can't. I'm sorry,
but I promise you, we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
And finally, Saud Althani, Jim's up good, Mark Waid bad. Got it. I love Mark Waid, and listen, I was talking about this literally with a colleague of mine the other day. We were walking back to the bus, and I was like, man, Mark Waid, like lately, woof. Like, I would not give Mark Waid any books for a while. I would put him in charge of DC, but I would not give him like a Doctor Strange book. But what I would do, like, Mark Waid gets to go to the Undying Lands because he wrote Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Like, he's Samwise Gamgee. Like, he held the ring for a minute. He gets to go. You wrote Kingdom Come. Now, that doesn't even, like, compare to the fact that, like, Mark Waid also wrote a killer Flash run. The reason you like Wally West is probably because of Mark Waid. Like, Mark Waid is a great writer and has written other stuff. But he also wrote Kingdom Come, which means that's it.
Yeah.
He gets a pass. He also wrote Birthright. Incredible.
Yeah.
But
no, it's true.
But, yeah.
But as of late,
not
been great.
But Jim Zub's great. So, yeah. So anyway, let's jump into more. Excalibur is a thing.
Yeah.
This is the magic one.
I like this one a lot.
I know. Now, and we've had some debate, and I want the chat to help me out with this because I didn't look it up. I know that some of these books have like a terminal date on them. Is Excalibur over?
I have no idea because I think
was it a 6-issue miniseries?
Well,
did it feel like it wrapped up?
We did wrap up.
No, I mean, like, did it feel like it had an end, like a definitive ending?
I mean, this could definitely keep going, but I could also see them just being like, just hold this information in the back of your head as X-Men continues on.
I'm sure.
Like, I could absolutely see that as well. Like,
yeah.
It could literally go either way, but it doesn't end with like the end, bum, bum, bum.
No. Well, probably because if the pre-order sales are good, it won't end.
Right, but like literally this could have been the end of like just being like, okay, cool, this is going to feed into this.
That's that.
You know that. And
right.
if you're not reading Excalibur, you know what other people don't know now.
That's fair. Fair enough.
Right?
Okay.
So, this book opens kind of where the other one ended, where Rogue killed Apocalypse.
Yes.
That happened. He's dead.
He's dead.
And he's been brought back.
Okay.
Because he's part of the government, he gets to skip the line.
Oh. Well, who was in front of him, did they say?
I don't know. They just said, like, he gets to go to the front of the line, so who knows?
All right.
So, like, and it's funny, because, like, Professor X gives him a hard time before he gives him his memories back.
Really? Like, he yells at him?
He says, like, I admit to being disappointed in your use of our mastery over death for your own ends. Because that's exactly what he's done here. So when he, like, gets his memory back and, like, he's all, like, good to go and he's all naked, he's greeted by Jamie Braddock, who, like, gives him his, like, vestments back.
Okay.
And then we cut to, like, the other world where, like, Morgan Le Fay is waging war against the White Witch.
Yes.
And that's when, like, the Excalibur team, like, shows up. And,
cool.
Like, they're there to kick ass and take names. And, I mean, they're going for it, and, like, they're doing well, and, like, Rogue is ready to cut loose because, like, she's not only Rogue, but she's also, like, Apocalypse at the same time.
Right.
And then Apocalypse shows up and is like, hey, guys.
Hey, I'm back, too.
Hey. Like, and he has, like, a walking stick because he's weak.
Oh.
It's, like, it's interesting. It's neat to see him, like, humbled in that sense.
Yeah.
And he's like, hi, I'm ready to help. I'm like, he's like, here's what we're gonna do. Betsy, I'm gonna go talk to Morgan Le Fay. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you can barely walk. I should go talk to her. He's like, no.
Yeah.
This is my job.
Right.
So he goes over there and he's like, hey, what's up? So, like, this isn't gonna go well for you.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking instead of having, like, an all-out war, what we'll do is we'll have our champions fight.
Yeah.
So, like,
Whoa.
Betsy can fight her brother. To the death.
Right. Apocalypse loves to make other people fight.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, so, like, they agree to it.
Okay.
They're like, cool. And, like, not Betsy. Like, it's just Morgan's like, yeah!
Sounds good.
So,
yeah.
like, they decide to do that. And it's it's kind of cool because Rogue and Betsy have, like, a little moment between the two of them where, like, they're just, like, she's reassuring him. She's like, Apocalypse isn't going to have you kill your own brother. He's got something up his sleeve.
Why would she think that?
I don't know. I guess because of some of his other, like, actions more recently.
Right, have shown him to be a little bit more altruistic.
Or that, like, there's something more to this plan that would not be that. I don't know.
By the way, the series is solicited through at least issue 9.
There you go. That makes sense. Well, it doesn't, because, like, literally I could have had this ended here, and I would have been, like, fine.
Maybe it'll be over for you.
Because, like, well, no, I'm going to keep going, because I enjoyed it, but, like, I like endings like what happened in this.
Yes.
Like, so, like, for me, it was very satisfying.
Right.
Like, it was very, like, ooh, yeah. So, basically, it's kind of fun to see Rogue, like, having friends.
Yeah.
So they're having, like, a moment, and then, Apocalypse shows up, he's like, it's time for the duel, and, like, Morgan's like, so, this is stupid, because, like, your champion isn't going to fight to the death.
Right.
And mine will, and, like, she can't die, truly, so it's, like, it's not really a fight.
Right. Well, then why'd you agree to it in the first place?
Well, she agreed, because she's like, I'll win.
Well, okay. Well, except Betsy can't die.
Right, but, like, well, she can, because she can fall, but then she'll be resurrected.
Exactly, so there's no point to it.
Right, but he'll still win the combat.
Ah, I see.
He'll have killed her, and that's what matters.
Okay.
Apocalypse is, like, wheeling and dealing, so, like, Jubilee's riding on Shogo, who's a dragon.
Yes.
And, he can't use his dragon fire, because that could weaken the world and such.
Okay.
And, she's, like, flying, she's like, oh, we should get in closer to make sure that, like, Betsy's okay, and, like, Apocalypse comes to her in her mind, and it's like, hang on, don't interfere with the duel, but, like, hang around, because I'm gonna need Shogo's flames, like, it's just hang on there.
It's rare to see, Jubilee actually using her sunglasses.
It's bright.
Yeah.
So anyway, the two of them fight, and, like, Betsy's not gonna kill Brian. Brian, like, she ends up, like, hitting him in his, like, little face mask thing. She uses her shield against him. She unswords, like, she takes his sword, she disarms him. That's the word. She disarms him, takes his sword away, and then they're, like, fumbling for the sword, and it ends up, like, going through him.
Oh, no! Not
Brian!
Not Brian Braddock!
Yeah. And then, like, we see that Jamie Braddock's also there.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, of course he is. And then, like, because of, like, the fact that, like, they technically won, but, like, they want the army to go away that's there. They use Shogo's fire to make them, like, flee and stuff like that.
Sure.
And, like, Betsy's like, oh my god, like, he's dying. He's, like, dying. He's dead. Like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna fix this? And, like, Morgan's really upset. And then, like, Apocalypse is like, okay, well, my champion won, so I'm gonna put Jamie Braddock on the throne.
Oh. Okay.
So, because he's got the right bloodline, so that's who I pick, and that's who's gonna be on the throne, and that's how it's gonna be. And, like, Morgan's supposed to go into exile, and then Jamie puts, like, a cage around her, and he's like, you're going to exile, but we didn't say where.
Oh. Where's she going?
Well, you'll find out. Then Betsy, like, threatens to make him a eunuch, or make Jamie a eunuch if he doesn't bring Brian back.
Sure.
And so they bring Brian back. Like, that's the whole...
Oh, yay.
That was the whole plan, right?
Yeah.
And, and then everybody leaves and goes home. And Rogue is back to being Rogue, and she and Gambit are in a Krakoan hot tub.
Awesome.
It is awesome. And she basically talks about how, like, when, like, they were in the lighthouse, that, like, she heard that everybody had nightmares, and he's like, I didn't, because I never slept while I was there, because I was watching over you. And she's like, that's sweet, but I did.
Right.
And, like, in the nightmare, it was about, like, she was on, like, a table, and, like, she was being, like poked and prodded, and, like, kind of, experimented on by, like, the professor in Forge.
Oh.
About how, like, everyone's meant to have babies, but, like, could Rogue even have a baby?
Right.
Or would she kill it? And if she can't have a baby, then what is she doing as part of, like, this whole, like, Krakoan rule set?
Oh, whatever. Come on.
But that's, like, that's what it's in Rogue's
Yeah,
mind.
that's what she saw.
And, like, Gambit's, like, just takes it, he just holds her, and he's just like, I mean, Rogue, if you want to have a baby, I mean, we could try. Like, we could just try all the time.
Right, yeah.
And she's like, I don't. And, like, the point is that Rogue's like, even if I could, I don't know if I want one.
Right.
She's like, we've been like on again, off again so much. Like, I just want to be with you.
Yeah.
And like, it's just cute. It's just a nice moment.
Yeah.
And like, then it's cute because like then they're obviously going to do what Gambit wanted to do in the first place, and it's just
they're just gonna follow the law.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the three laws.
It's a really sweet, well written scene between the two of them.
That's nice.
And then we check in with Brian and Betsy, and like Brian's crying and he's holding a sword. Mm-hmm. She's like, "What's up?" He's like, "I had a dream," and like much like I guess how Captain Britain was chosen before, which I don't know.
Right.
It's like there was a dream, or like Merlin and Roma came to him, and like there's the option of like, do we take the sword or the amulet? And those who are worthy to be Captain Britain always take the amulet. And he was just like, I didn't know if I was worthy, and like I was so mad about what Morgan had done to me, and she's like ruined me as a person that I took the sword because like I shouldn't be your Captain Britain, or I was so mad, and like. So he's like, I can't be Captain Britain anymore.
Right, of course.
And she's like, no, it's cool. And he's like, also, like, if I became Captain Britain again and you're Captain Britain, like, you would, like, they would mock you, or, like, they would, like...
yeah, they'd say you were the fake Captain Britain.
Right, because you're a mutant. And he's like, I don't want to do that to you either. Mm-hmm. But the issue is that the sword responds to him and makes him into a Captain Britain.
Okay. And
then she ends up giving, like, Betsy just gives him back his amulet, and he gives the sword to her, and he tells her to hide it because it's, like, don't use this. It's not good.
Okay.
Then we check in like the other world where King Jamie Braddock is and Apocalypse is. Mm-hmm. And like it's revealed that Apocalypse is like doing a dissection on Morgan Le Fay.
Oh crap.
And she's alive.
Oh no.
And like he's trying to figure some crap out, and there's like some like a little breakdown of his like grimoire of Apocalypse at the end where he's talking about needing a mega level mutant. Mm-hmm. Like he needs at least one of these for his methodology, and it's Jamie Braddock.
Right.
A mutate assistant of advanced age, which I looked it up. It's Exodus.
Oh, yeah.
And then parts of Krakoa. So he's doing something.
Right.
And like that's like for me, that's an ending.
Yeah, that is an ending.
That's an ending.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, go get more issues, fine. But like that's why I was like, if it ended here,
that'd be cool.
I'm good, because that is messed up.
Yeah.
And like it says in the notes that it's just like, you could call this an autopsy, but she's alive. She's very much alive while I'm doing this.
Right.
I was like, you are creepy.
Yeah. Well, he's got to get those old horsemen back.
I think that, this is exactly what he's trying to work on. But like everybody had a role to play,
right?
Except for Gambit.
No,
Gambit was just there. He's like,
well, you're gonna use Grove.
He needed a thief.
Yeah.
So he didn't end up using him, but like it was,
That's fun. That's cool. I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
Nathan Gleason says, with The End returning to Marvel, will there be any issues of The End on GBU or back issues? Will there be a Christmas special sketch this year? We could bring back The End. The Ends are usually a little longer than most, so it wouldn't be the GBU series, but I might consider doing The End on the channel. I haven't really... I don't know how... I don't have many The Ends that are worth a damn. So it would be tough. But I do have... I don't have all of Marvel The End, which is the one I would do. And we'll see about the Christmas thing. I want to do a Christmas special.
I do too.
But, Kane's World says, here's some support since I can't watch the stream until YouTube fixes their app. Danielle, please remove my name from consideration of the giveaway. Shrine on the dudes. Thanks, Kane World. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why the app isn't working for everybody. If you're using the app, you're probably having interruptions. We've asked Team YouTube multiple times to intervene. They have not, and I doubt they will anytime soon.
Yeah.
Saud Al-Thani says, Wade has great concepts these days, but the writing's blah, but you can see the greatness there. Yeah, you can see that he's like, well, he's a good writer. So like you can see the technique is there, the craft is there. It's just that like, meh. And I think it's just because he's running out of ideas.
I think he has some ideas. I think he's like struggling to get those ideas to come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. And he also mentions Jamie has, for the first time, for me at least, become likable.
Yeah, like he's kind of like, he's more impish in this than he would be like a jerk.
Right.
Like he's like acting like he's not going to bring his brother back, and he is. Like he obviously, like that was the plan from the get-go, and that's what he was going to do, but like he like has to nudge Betsy a little bit. Like he can't just give it to her and be nice.
No.
But like, he's going to do it. He doesn't go like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So.
And the Gray Initiate says, any recent trades that are worth getting? I fell off floppies for monetary reasons, and I'm missing my comics. The House of X hardcover is my first buy in months.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that would be a major buy, because there's so much book, and it's kind of expensive.
It's a great buy.
But yeah, no, I actually just bought a bunch of trades. I got the Absolute Carnage trade.
I would say Life Story.
Life Story is absolutely a trade you must have. If you're a Spider-Man fan at all. If you're not a Spider-Man fan, you're not going to like it.
That's true.
But yeah, and actually I have a recommendation at the end of this episode that has a trade that's coming out.
There have been a lot of great stories, and I think it really just depends on what it is that you're looking for. Because it's like if you're an indie fan, like they brought out the first Trade to Die, which was really incredible.
And Silver Surfer Black is also available.
Yeah.
So I checked out those.
Yeah.
Vidal Ruiz, love everything y'all do. Seen every GBU and Harbor Patrol multiple times.
So sweet.
That's really nice. Thank
you.
And almost every back issues. Who is Gunther and when and how did that idea come about? Gunther.
I forgot about Gunther.
Yeah, I don't really use him very much. It was complicated and hard to do. And so I didn't like doing it. I was just like, it's just faster if I don't do him.
I bet
if I don't
you can
use
do it
him
more
anymore.
easily now.
Yeah, I could probably use him a lot more easily. Gunther was a throwaway character that was in, I believe, our episode for Avengers: The Infinity Unity or Union. It's really technically called Avengers: Along Came a Spider, but that's the episode we did where we introduced Gunther. The idea was that Gunther was just like this half robot man who was like annoying. And I like the idea that like Gunther was like an analog for the trolls that come on our channel and will actually us. So Gunther for a time was like the fact checker on the channel. He would pop up and he'd be like, actually what you're saying is wrong, or like, actually you have some other things to say, or like would elaborate on some points. But I found it was just distracting, and most people were just kind of confused by him, so I made him go away. But that's him. Check him out. It's really fun. Hashtag GOAT. You want a free copy of this 1 out of 100 variant of Quantum and Woody? It's dope. Check it out. Sadalthani says, praise Blue Daddy. Yeah. Did you drop it?
No, I almost did. I was like, oh!
Yeah, don't drop it. Was about to say
no,
die.
Apocalypse is like,
Was about to say die. Also, the Venom trades by Donny Cates or maybe Doomsday Clock. That's out soon, right? I actually checked. Apparently, the Doomsday... Oh, I've been asking people. The Doomsday Clock book isn't...
The full one?
Yeah, like all 12. Because you can get like issues 1 through 6 or 8 or whatever. It sucks. And then my assumption is a full trade won't be available till like October or some dumbass thing like that. It should be out literally now.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. But fine.
But yeah, so it'll be a while. And we have a lot more. We'll get into them in a minute because right now I want to talk about Batman. Batman 87.
Let's do it. You had the other book up, and I was literally about to be like yo ho, and I'm glad I didn't. Because doesn't really work here as much.
No. Yeah. I'm just getting it up here. Getting up the picture. Where the hell did it go? Oh well.
Just look at Apocalypse instead.
Yeah, whatever. Where'd he even go? There it is. Get out of here. Yeah, my Batman episode picture isn't there.
I don't think you have it.
Oh, there it is. Nope.
No Batman.
Screw it. Batman 87 from Tynan the Fourth, and who drew this? Gilliam March or Gilliam March. Man, so okay. In this story, Tynan had mentioned that like with his run, Deathstroke's gonna be the main bad guy. So like in his first issue, holy crap, he fights Deathstroke and his band of bad guys who have nefarious bad guy plans in store for what's it called for Gotham, because of course they retcon that Batman is like a little bit of an architect and he had these ideas for Gotham and Alfred always wanted him to use them. So now that Alfred's dead, Batman's like, hey, I want to do something about this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to implement it. And I'm going to use my wealth and power to like fast track it. So it's not like the Scott Snyder run where he was going to do that already. It's more like he's already done it. And so like things are already being built. And that really puts a bee in someone's bonnet. And so they sent Deathstroke and some bad guys to disrupt his plans.
Yeah.
Batman immediately defeats...
There's 5 of them. It's like a hand.
I know. Batman defeats all of them easily and then puts them all into a special Supermax that is built for the GCPD. I think that's hilarious because in Scott Snyder's run, Batman offers to build a new prison for the GCPD, but they say no because nobody is taking handouts from wealthy aristocrats like Bruce Wayne, but this time they did. So here's another reference to the Scott Snyder run.
Okay.
But this time they did, and it fails. Because of course it does, because Deathstroke's the main bad guy for the series.
Right.
Also, there's some throwaway bullshit with the Penguin, who is even more grotesque than ever before.
He is a horror show.
And
both of them are, though.
Penguin and Riddler.
Yeah.
There was a Year of the Villain tie-in in which Riddler decides to stop being the Riddler. Tynan's like, nope. And so he doesn't. And so he's back to being the Riddler, but he's more gross and emaciated than ever before.
He's been up for like 30 days or something, like a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah.
So he's out of his mind.
Yeah, he's crazy and gross.
It's really funny to see Penguin with all of those umbrella-based weapons.
Yes, I love that he has like all of the all of his umbrellas. He's like, once you see them, you're like, oh my god, Penguin's kind of stupid.
No, it's funny.
No, it is really fun.
Like he has like grenades with like what looks like penguin like or umbrella like stabby parts at the top of it. Like
no, it's really like it's fun. It's a fun image. There's like a nuclear umbrella.
Yeah.
And more.
Like a hazard one.
Yeah. So the bad guys escape from Gotham, and what's his name? Bullock is commissioner of Gotham right now.
He's like stand-in.
He's stand-in because Gordon, who guffaws, is under lock and key.
Is guffawing.
Yeah. He's under lock and key at the Hall of Justice. Batman smashes one of the assassins with a friggin' Mack truck. And
Cheshire.
Yeah, Cheshire, and she reveals that, like, you know, there's more to come.
He doesn't do it. He just doesn't warn her.
Well, that's like saying that Batman doesn't kill people, but he doesn't have to save them. That's the same thing. He said something like, watch out. Like, he didn't even, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm guessing that truck was not going that fast. But they were.
She goes...
I know. It's like, but like...
You be the judge.
She wouldn't be alive to have the conversation that they have.
She wouldn't be alive if she hit the truck that hard.
Yeah. Maybe she's really dense.
Yeah, maybe that's one of her powers, is that she's just so dense, like this book. Oh, yeah, so then Penguin took over the Gotham City Police Department and, end the super...
What I like about that is like, Deathstroke's like, cool, all right, we're out now, and now we're gonna leave, and we're not gonna kill you yet, Bullock, because there's a thing for you to be doing in this book.
Yep, there's a role for you to play.
And then, he goes to open the door, and like, it don't open. He's like, what the hell?
And then Penguin's like, nah, nobody expects Penguin. And he's not wrong. I'm probably gonna stop reading this book.
He has like a lot of weapons.
It's so stupid. Here's the thing, Penguin. Like, I love the idea. Like, I love the time it's like, screw it, I'm using Penguin, and I think that's a great idea. The Deathstroke thing bores me to tears. The new Gotham idea, another waste of time for me, especially since we know the time jump's coming for 5G. Don't care about that. Like, can't get excited. Because it's an interim run, there's nothing getting me excited. Like, maybe if the trade's finished, I'll read it, but like, that's not going to help. But Batman doesn't need my help to sell.
Right. I think what I like about this is it is very much here's a fun little adventure.
Except it's not, because Alfred's not here. Like, it's never just like, here's something you're gonna enjoy.
Well,
it's always here's something else, asterisk, no.
But like he has to he can't just ignore.
I know he can't. Well, he could.
No, not if he wants to keep working.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm sure there's another company that has Red in their scheme who would be happy to take Tynion the Fourth.
He doesn't. Yeah. Well,
Name 2 books that James Tynion the Fourth could write for Marvel right now.
Doctor Strange.
Right? Because it's magic based, and Ghost Rider.
Oh, he could do that.
Boom. You just gave James Tynion the Fourth a job.
I would also maybe I would challenge him with this a little bit, but like maybe he could do a Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'd love to see
that.
that.
He did so well with Detective.
Yeah, no, he does. You need I would love to see him on Avengers because he can juggle rosters and characters. His detective run is proof positive. He can be like, oh, an ensemble, here you go.
Right, but like Detective was kind of a ragtag group.
That's true.
And that's why I was thinking like Guardians. Yeah. Maybe you could do West Coast Avengers.
Oh, I would love that anyway. I mean, that'd be really fun. Anyway, that's all me just saying I don't want to read this Batman book anymore.
Okay.
I will, but...
Fine. You're like, I'm going to, but I don't have to be happy about it.
It could be better, is all I'm saying. But, it's there. Jumping back into the super chats really quick, Manav Vora says, love you guys, wanted to show support. Do you guys know of any cool horror-esque DC Marvel superhero stories released in the 2010s besides Immortal Hulk?
Superheroes? Oh, that's superhero
Justice League Dark, The Witching Hour.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, you're right. Especially the early stuff of Justice League Dark. There's a lot of horror going on in that. I mean, like, it's more on the spectrum of superhero, but then, like, Tynion will just hit you right in the face. Yeah. With some straight up horror.
And I might even say, you know what? Like, Dark Knight's Metal.
Yeah, there is.
Had some horror elements, and also all the tie-ins really played up that horror element.
I was gonna say, Carnage, but
Absolute Carnage. No, Jerry Conway's run on Carnage.
Yeah. Not technically superhero.
No, but you'd love it. It's got superheroes in it. Man-Wolf.
He's fighting evil by moonlight.
Yeah.
Awoo.
Awoo. Jack O'Connell, love you guys. Found Excalibur's ending really gross. Human dissections just really freak me out. Well, she's not a human, so...
She's not technically...
She's a witch or something.
But, hey, I see what you mean. But that's why, like, for me, that was such an ending. I was like, ooh, what a gut punch.
Oh, what a gut dissection. Michael Patterson got my goodies packet from Patreon. Thank you all so much. I love them all. Don't thank me. You paid for it, man. Thank you so much for being a patron, man. Death of the Inhumans was a great touch, by the way, Sal. Yes. If you're a patron and you want to jump into the golden age era of the... Actually, you can't, because it's all the slots are filled.
Yeah.
But one of these days, maybe I'll expand it. But like for now, I'm doing every 2 months I send out a box full of trades that are handpicked by me, along with sometimes like a toy or an additional Funko Pop or something like that. But it's all books that I think like you're going to enjoy, and it's a big spectrum of stuff. So thank you very much for giving it a shout, and I'm glad you're digging it. Ben Bastian, I've been watching a lot of X-Men on Disney Plus show. It's super cool, ages pretty well. What run of Quantum and Woody would you recommend apart from the new one? The original one. The first run was... It's all collected in trade, so it's easy to get. Although I will say, like, the new Valiant, like 2011, that was actually pretty good. There's not a really bad run for Quantum and Woody. Although I prefer, like, Classic, and this Hastings book was... Everyone's going to be like, oh, I love Quantum and Woody. And it's like, yeah, because of what Hastings did. Taylor Pester says, am I the only one that thinks Wonder Woman 750 is the best of the 3 big anniversary issues that DC put out? Action's a very close second. Action trounced Detective in a big way. Wonder Woman was also excellent. # GOAT. Get this book. Wonder Woman was great. It's so long, I don't have time to talk about it. I'll just say, I got the 90s variant.
I didn't even see this because you just brought it here, and then that was like it. It just disappeared out of...
I got the 90s variant. I think that's Brian Boland's
It
art.
is so 90s that I didn't recognize that it was a new book. When
I was like, they could do it. They could always bring it back. This is proof they could.
Except I didn't see the back,
right?
Which automatically gives it away.
Yes, but yeah, good stuff. By the way,
to read this.
Yeah, you should. You take it. It's an excellent book, but we didn't have time to talk about it.
Sure.
So, thank you. What was I gonna say? I think that's everybody. Okay, really quick. Batman Superman #6 from Josh Williamson and David Marquez is like the denouement of the entire run. It's like, here's not the run, but like the arc with the Batman who laughs, infecting random people. This story is literally just like Batman and Superman screwed up because they thought that they could do a book with just the two of them that involves the greater DC universe and all their colleagues in the Justice League and not include them. And it blew up in their faces, and now like some of their colleagues are either missing or like seemingly permanently damaged by the Batman who laughs. And so they basically come up with a new plan that involves like keeping everyone in the loop, because the Batman who laughs expected them both to like lie to all their friends and like go on a merry adventure by themselves.
To be fair, of that team, 50% of them might.
Yeah.
But the other one...
Right. The fact they didn't include Wonder Woman, she was like, what the hell?
Superman, like, that doesn't strike me as his, like...
No, but he was like, we're going to play it. We're gonna play it Batman's way.
We're gonna play the Bat way.
That's right.
Which doesn't make any sense because...
We're fighting the Batman who laughs. Why would we do that?
Art's pretty cool.
Oh, it's Dave Marquez. The art is incredible. It's gorgeous. His Superman is still under construction, but everything else is just gorgeous. David Marquez is freaking amazing. But they reference the whole Tynan run. Like they're literally building in Park Row where the Waynes were killed. Like they're building stuff. Like the Batman who laughs built his Batcave under Crime Alley, and they're filling it in. They're like, screw you. It's good stuff. I love these kinds of issues because it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of character work, not a lot of action, but you do get a lot of it. You get some beautiful double-page splashes of Wonder Woman kicking ass. You got Superman and Batman being Superman and Batman, looking like Superman and Batman. They talk to Gordon a lot. Gordon is just like he throws their weaknesses and his thoughts at them. I'm very disappointed I don't get to see Gordon interact with Superman. It's something you never get to see. I'd love to see more of that. This is like Gordon at his worst, but now you know why Bullock is in charge, and then they tease what's to come, which is of course that Ra's al Ghul and General Zod are teaming up.
Oh,
which is like, yeah, cool.
Sure.
Because Zod wants the Lazarus Pits to resurrect Kandor.
How are they going to fix Gordon?
with a hand-wavy explanation, I'm sure.
Maybe they'll put him in the Lazarus pit. Maybe they'll kill him and then put him in the Lazarus pit.
It'd be interesting if the Lazarus pit like cured people of their bullshit, like from the from the Batman Who Laughs. I would be okay with that. By the way, I recommend this book. It's one of the best Bat books. It's certainly the best Superman book coming out right now. Everyone is in character. The only problem is the Batman Who Laughs, but thankfully he's not in it anymore until he comes right back.
Yeah, because that gravy train's never gonna stop.
Yeah. We got statues
does.
to sell of the Batman Who Laughs. What else you got?
Oh, I was looking at like someone said they got a variant cover from an artist, so like I wanted to see it. Let's just I'm gonna very briefly chat about this book because we haven't really talked about it here, and I don't want to like go over like it's really only one issue that we missed talking about, but it's John Constantine Hellblazer.
Oh yeah.
This is the third issue of the Simon Spurrier series, the Sandman Universe DC Black Label book. I was like, wait,
yes.
what?
Yes, it's not Vertigo.
No, it's not
It's
Vertigo.
everything else.
It's all but that. This really wrapped up in a really amazing package. Like, the first issue, I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is cool and, like, gritty, and I really like the world and stuff like that. The second issue, I was like, okay, this is neat. Cool mystery. Seeing John have to deal with, like, anything is amazing. The way that Spurrier is writing him.
Yep.
Seeing John have to deal with, like, mass transit is spectacular.
Sure.
It's awesome. Seeing John dealing with tech as well is fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, this issue really like wrapped up the little story. He was like this mini like part of the story that he was doing, like the case that John was on.
Cool.
Really, really well. And like in a way where it was like John Constantine like doing sort of the right thing, but like in all the worst ways possible.
Yep.
And it was just like, it just felt so excellent to read. Spurrier, I believe, being British.
A Brit? Yeah.
English, whatever I'm supposed to say
Englishman.
in terms of that.
Yes.
It just writes him so well. Like the is colloquialism
Yeah.
the correct word there that he uses?
Yes.
Are so phenomenal, and I don't know what they are most of the time, but like it makes it have that authenticity to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
I
there's
do.
just something very authentic about the way John speaks, about the way everyone around him is speaking, and it makes it just that much more natural. The world that they live in is a place I never want to be.
Right.
And I love that so
fair.
much. Like it's just you feel kind of grimy when you're done.
That's how you
reading
should. That's
it.
how a Constantine book should always feel.
Yeah, like you just like ooh, okay. When's the next issue coming out?
Yeah, that's great.
So I say for me, it's a pickup. Again, it's delightful reading the British stuff. There is a character in who is Irish as well, so it's like you got like all kinds of horrible accents that are going on in your head that you're like, none of these are correct.
Of course.
This is not right at all. And
Yeah.
the art is just spectacular. Aaron Campbell is like nothing I've seen. It's a really refined version of like those or refined, gritty, visceral version of those enhanced pencil kind of look.
Yeah.
But like his monster designs are just next level. I love it.
Cool.
So, and also I like his Constantine. I like the way he looks, and he's very like a lot of expression.
Yeah.
Also, he does some really amazing things with sign language because there's a character who's deaf.
Okay.
And like using sign language in the previous issue, starting it off like in issue 2, like he's signing, which I don't know how to do, so I'm obviously not going to pretend like I can because it's gonna look like I'm casting a spell.
Yep.
I don't want to offend anybody. But he uses it like as like almost like speech bubbles, but like they're panels, so it's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
so it's just fun. It's just a fun book.
Nice. I forgot that Iron Man came out, but I didn't read it. Did you read Marauders?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Did you?
No. Amazing Spider-Man number 38 by Nick Spencer and Iban Coelho is literally just J. Jonah Jameson finds out that he is the originator of clickbait, because of course he is.
Oh, J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson invented clickbaiting before clicking.
You say
Spider-Man, hero or menace? Find out more.
that. Yeah.
You won't believe who robbed the First National Bank. Find out more. Like, that's who he is. Nora Winters brings him into like her ripoff. We're just very, very slowly chipping away at all the steps that J. Jonah Jameson needs to take to go back to the Daily Bugle.
Right.
I'm like, I'm enjoying it because I think I know the trajectory, and I'm like fine with that. You know, where each time I'm like, you know, one time they were thinking about bringing him into Frontline. I'm like, just have him come into Frontline and then change the freaking name and become the Daily Bugle again.
Yeah.
But they make fun of the fact that like Jameson is like they make a big thing about the news cycle and about like BuzzFeed and how like news is destroyed, and I'm like, that's really cool. And the only thing that I'm gonna ding it on is that J. Jonah Jameson is a newsman and a man of integrity despite his like blowhardedness. Like I feel bad that they like that in the expedience for making a joke or having fun with J. Jonah Jameson, they lose who J. Jonah Jameson is. And so, like, and he is a blowhard and an asshole, but he also has a set of morals and integrity. And, like, he didn't become the publisher of the Daily Bugle because his dad left it to him. You know what I mean? Like, he knows what's up. And I'm like, sad that they don't really deal with that too much. That being said, Spider-Man's working with his stupid sister, and he robs a bank because he's got to, like, it's all part of a ridiculously circuitous scheme. And, it's top secret. It's all a bunch of spy stuff. And at the end of the day, Jameson learned, like, because Spider-Man robs a bank.
Yeah.
So Winters is like, this is your thing.
This is your bread and butter.
This is your bread and butter.
Man.
And of course, Jameson knows who Spider-Man is now, and they're friends, and he's like promised that he's going to undo all the damage he's done to Spider-Man. And in his efforts to do it, he only makes Spider-Man's life worse, and which is like the new status quo, and it's hilarious. With this, he's like, he tracks down Spider-Man. He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, and he tells him, like, it's all spy stuff. I got to do this to get that, to do this.
Yeah.
And so Jameson creates a clickbait article about, like, that reveals those secrets that Spider-Man told Jameson. You know what I mean? Like, so he's like, I'll help you for the last thing I do, Spider-Man. And you're like, that's funny, I guess. Like, I'm having fun with that. It's a fun story. It has nothing to do with 2099. So I'm really enjoying it. It's real Spider-Man stuff, so I'm really digging it. The best part of it, unfortunately, is like the next issue's cover, which I just adore. And it's like Spider-Man facing off against Jay.
It's mildly gross.
I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, it's just Jameson spitting on Spider-Man's face. I just think it's great. It's just awesome.
All right, it's kind of nice to hear you like happily talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's a good book, and it's heading towards the direction I want it to go in finally. Like, it's actually going to cover like the kindred and all that other crap.
Right.
It's a lot of fun, and it's clearly like Spencer has a lot to say about like the world, and he does it in a like he can't do it subtly, but he does do it, and so that's cool. You know what I mean? Like DeMatteis would find a really, really clever, subtle way to do it. And Spencer can't. But he does do it well enough where the story is still a Spider-Man story. It's not just like... No. Spencer hits the freaking brakes, and he's like, now I'm going to talk about clickbait. Here's a full page where I talk about clickbait.
Right.
And I'm like, right on. And you made, like, the living laser, like, a troll against Captain America. Like, it's fine, and it's funny, and it works in the narrative, but it is, like, very clear. It's not, like, a free-flowing narrative, the way that it used to be, or the way that, like, the best Spider-Man writers have done it. But Spencer is treating all the characters with respect and dignity, so no complaints about that. It's just good stuff. Like, it's just good stuff. It's not great stuff. You know, it's getting there. I think that he has the chops to get there. I think he will eventually. But for now, it's just kind of like, it's pretty fun.
Okay.
Cash Money in the Bank. Have you been keeping up with Batman's Grave? I'm enjoying it. I'm trade waiting on Batman's Grave. I read the third or second issue, and I'm like, this is cool, but I don't want to spend
What's funny is that's a book that you can, I know you were saying before that, like, floppies could hurt, like, future books being done. It's like, that book was done...
That book was done, like, a year or two ago, or 5.
So you're like, it's not ruining anything.
No, that book was... it's coming out whether they want it to or not.
It's got Batman on it. They're never going to stop.
Nope, it's fine, and so I can wait, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. And the fact is, I'm going to enjoy it in one sitting more than me reading it week to week, or month to month, or every other month. And the fake Grant Morrison says, with Duggan's grim noir one-shot in February, it's about time we got an uber cliche Ben Grimm noir book, trench coat and all. I agree.
Yeah, he like it's so obvious. It's like, let's do it.
If you really want to read some gritty grim, you should read Fantastic Four or 1, 2, 3, 4 by Grant Morrison.
Oh, yeah.
Fake Grant Morrison, because that series is super gritty and super noir-y and super miserable, and it's like the grittiest grim you'll ever grim.
Maybe this would be better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, like, I like that Duggan's getting like it's just like I've been hearing his name a lot more lately.
Oh yeah.
Like,
No, he's climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
Also, the Harley Quinn DCU show is surprisingly excellent. Would recommend.
Yes.
Yeah, Harley Quinn is great. We haven't talked about it much, but
love Poison Ivy.
yeah.
It's like, I know it's Harley's show, but it's like Poison Ivy, Slingshot, Harley.
Right, yeah. But everyone's doing a great job. I love everyone in the show. It's an incredible show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about more. What do you got?
I'm gonna talk about Once and Future, number 6.
Oh, yeah.
Wrapping up this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent.
Yes, number 6, by the way, last issue, right?
This is one of the best paced books around for me. Just so good. I really don't want to get too much into it because I don't.
You don't want to spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it for those who maybe haven't had an opportunity to grab this one yet.
Yeah.
But this definitely wraps up the story.
Great.
Really amazingly. It's just. It was excellent.
Yeah.
It was excellent. I don't want to reveal anything.
Okay.
Other than it's not over.
Oh. Has Gillen said that it's not over?
The stinger at the end said it's not over. It was like ending like credits page, cool shot of a skull, another page of comic, and I was like, this is to be continued, and I was like,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. Can
I tell you the stinger? Can I tell you the stinger?
Yeah, let's do it.
Can I spoil the stinger
for
you?
God, tell me, please.
Do you remember Elaine, the chick who was like after like she's working with Arthur and all that, and she had like, you know,
yes,
the Galahad and all that, right? She's in the other world. She's like trapped there, right? And like all is said and done, and like basically like a mysterious figure like just like sees her and is just like, you know, oh, like you're lost in the forest, like beyond the boundaries of your own knowledge. This story has no further use of an Elaine. And then he like comes out and he says, but Merlin could use a Nimue.
What?
And I was like, yes,
that's cool.
Yes, I want it right now. I want Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora to get back on this because this book was just one of the best indie books I read last year. It doesn't have necessarily that emotional impact that I say Die has,
right? But
it does hit its own like stride with emotion in terms of like the family dynamic between Duncan and his grandma.
Yeah.
And also like teaches you a little bit about Arthurian lore. Yeah. And it's like a really cool nerdy action movie.
Right.
With swords.
That's awesome. Just for Dan Mora's art alone, it's funny.
His art, like, it just gets better and better each issue, which is like, how is this possible? Like the first issue, it's like it's fantastic, and it's like this is great. This is gonna be a great book, and then each issue is just even better.
Yep,
so good.
Yeah, I was reading a thing about how Image and Boom are kind of like big competitors now.
Because Boom is suddenly like it's Boom.
Well, you know what it is? It's because Image puts out too many fucking books.
Yeah, Image. Well, yeah.
That's it. It's just the Image puts out too many books, and so as a result, people are like, and Image doesn't have Saga anymore.
No, and that
like,
that kind of
there's no Saga Walking Dead for Image.
Yeah,
to
and like,
strengthen and support the line.
And that kind of concerns me. I mean, I think they do have some really excellent, like, you know, one-off style stories or like stories that probably won't have that long staying power.
Yeah.
But it concerns me that like if people are saying that Image isn't doing as well, and it seemingly is because they don't have a long-running story running right now. Yeah. I mean, I think Boom has its own long-running stuff, but like right now for me, it really is 2 titles, and I was worried that once and Future ended, there was going to be like, okay, it's still Something is Killing the Children until that's over.
Yeah, and then I'm out.
And like, we'll see. And I mean, like, I've tried a couple of their other stories, and like, I'm interested, but nothing has held me the way these 2 stories have. Yes. But the fact is, I think these 2 stories are going to attract other well-respected writers and artists to try Boom out.
I hope so.
You know, to be like, oh, I could put it over at Image, but let's be honest, that pool's getting a little crowded. Maybe I'll try Boom.
Yeah,
and
I could really succeed. I could become a big star over
especially
there.
With how many reprints both books went back for.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Marauders number 6.
You really didn't read this?
I read some of it.
Oh, okay.
I read it. I just was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, it kind of just wrapped up the story that they had going on.
For now, I'm sure it's going to keep going.
You know what I mean? Like, it wrapped up the current, like, the adventure they were on.
Yes.
Sorry, I should have said adventure, not story.
Right.
Which I hadn't been reading, so I just kind of caught up.
Yeah.
There's a huge fight going on, and there's, like, scary guys in hoods, and we talk about how, like, Kitty's got a real problem with that. Fair enough. It's not a good look for anybody.
Uh-huh.
And that, like, they are under siege, like, the X-Men are under siege, but, like, Kitty's doing everything she can to use her powers to, work against the enemy, which is cool because it's fun to see her using her powers. Just in general.
Yep.
But, like, also in a way where it really, like, frustrates the hell out of the enemy who, like, thinks that, like, oh, your power is to hide. And it's like, no, actually, it makes it really easy for me to fight you.
Yes.
But Pyro gets stabbed with, like, somebody's staff. And you're like, oh, okay. But, like, it's a really shallow kind of flesh wound.
Yeah.
But that wasn't what it was all about. It actually injected Yellow Jacket into his bloodstream because there's, like, a bunch of rich kids. I guess. I don't know who they are because I wasn't reading the book.
Yeah.
But they're creepy. It's like the inverse of the Runaways.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
And like they're looking to get intel on Krakoa and the mutants and anything they can get. And so like he's just floating around in there. I couldn't help but think of Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Except he's like going very covert. And it's funny because we get to see like Yellow Jacket, like he's one of the info dump pages, like his like journal entry.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh, okay, well, we're going through the boat now. Oh, we found a room with a lot of clothes. It's a lot of white clothes. Oh, it's Emma Frost. Oh, looks like they're holding up some lingerie. Like, I'm like, this is not what anybody wants. This is not the intel anyone asked for, man. Kitty finds a whole bunch of like power dampening suits in the bottom of another ship. And it's like, we got to take care of these. And the solution is essentially that like she'll take the ship so that Forge can check out the armor and then they'll get rid of them because they don't want to destroy them, I guess. But they also like don't want to sink them or like anything like that. They can't just leave them there.
Yeah.
So Iceman's gonna go with Kitty, or supposed to, but he has a previous engagement where he's going to be a guest judge on Drag Race, so he can't stay. And like Storm is gonna fly back to tell Forge to get ready.
Yes.
Which I was like, you don't really need to do
Nope.
that.
But we need to get her.
Oh,
out
no,
of
she's
the
gonna
room.
use the secret gate, the Krakoan gate.
Yeah.
And so then everybody leaves Kitty alone. When it's revealed that the Black King is there, and his plan from the get-go has been to get rid of her, so that he can put his own like
Red Queen
or Red King or who the hell
Red King.
Yeah, he says Red King.
Yeah.
And then get rid of the White Queen and put his own White Queen.
Yes.
To the Hellfire Clubs.
Right. So Emma was right to not trust him
or
put him on his council. Yeah.
And so like he hits Lockheed with a net and then throws him in the water, which is like, what the hell did Lockheed do to you, man?
Yeah, well, he can free her and he can shoot fire.
I know, but it's like, you didn't have to throw him in the water.
No. Well, but yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's where we'll reveal that Lockheed has gills.
It just seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
But then he hits her with like some Krakoan vines.
Yeah, well, because he's master of wood.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
No, that's Black Tom.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, he uses Krakoan vines.
He uses Krakoan vines that, like, I guess dampen her powers or do something, but she's stuck in them. And then she's in the water. I think they sink the ship.
Yep.
Or she's in a pool.
No, he stays in the ship. He sinks her.
Right. Or what have you.
Yeah.
There are many ships.
There are ships.
There are plenty of ships. But regardless, she's going to drown.
Yep. Oh, she drowns.
Well, I don't know. It's still some bubbles.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, the implication is that she's dead.
Yeah.
Certainly everybody was, like, talking about this, and I remember them saying, the least Kitty Pryde thing I've ever seen, by the way. I will live again only to kill you, and when I return, you will beg for my blade. That's the clunkiest thing I've ever seen. It's something that Kitty Pryde would never say.
I think that this is, like, I actually thought it was okay, because I'm thinking about, like, in terms of where Kitty Pryde is.
Yes.
Right now in her own headspace.
She's like, I'm a pirate now!
Well, it's not like I'm a pirate, but, like, every one of my, like, people are able to go to this, like, super cool island and work together, and I'm not allowed to go there. And now I'm doing this other thing, and, like, everyone's worried about protecting me because, like, the fact is they can't bring me back, and now I'm going to die. And so, like, I buy that she yells that. Like, it's okay because it's not, like, it's something you say out of desperation.
Right. Well, she certainly is desperate. And so she dies, and, well, presumably dies. And then Shaw's like, nah.
Maybe Namor will show up.
Right? Oh, Namor. That'd be fun. Everybody gets one. He swims away. But yeah, no, I mean, like, it's funny because, like, the whole thing is very, like, it's all the machinations of Shaw. Like, the whole thing has been plotted by him. He's also, like, making sure, like, I won't be seen by anybody. No one's gonna miss you.
No.
Like, because, well, everyone's gonna miss you, but, like, no one's gonna know it was me, and also they can't bring you back. Like, no one is here who can rat on me. Like, it's the perfect, like, kind of like blind spot.
Yeah. But it's like, dude, you think for a second Storm doesn't figure this out? If she does, that, like, you're gonna make it out of that fight?
Right? I hope. that she kills, and that'd be cool.
He looks so freaking pleased with
Smug,
himself. Just
yeah.
a smug piece of crap.
I agree. No, it was rough. I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if they ended this series like here. They're like, want to find out what happens to Kitty?
Wouldn't it be interesting if each of these series ended on such a downer?
Yes, I would love that. Are you kidding me? It'd be amazing.
It's very Empire.
Yeah,
It's very
I think
Empire
that'd be
Strikes
great.
Back, like, ooh.
Because you could always bring back the series, especially if they sold well. But like, if you
Yeah.
kill it, it's like, hey, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be really cool. Saad Al-Thani says, as it is currently not a question if Gillen is in my top 10 of the year, it's how many slots he gets.
It's totally true. Like, he's really been knocking it out of the park, and like, it's a really cool time to be a fan of his because it's like almost like, not that I wanted Wicked and Divine to end, but like, since it did, it freed up like his like creative
Headspace.
Juices to like tell these other stories.
It's
And I'm
true.
like, that's really cool. And like, I know a lot of people huge fans of Wicked and Divine.
Yeah.
Sad to see it go, but like, I'm really excited about the future for Kieran Gillen.
Definitely. So yeah, Marauders killed the Kitty Pryde. We'll see what happens in the next issue.
Yeah, killed Kitty Pryde.
I'm excited.
Excalibur. They're dissecting
Morgan Le Fay. Maybe Doom will show up and be like, oh no you don't. I would love to see Doom versus Apocalypse. We've seen Doom versus Thanos. Albeit Doom had the power of a god. But even still, it'd be totally dope.
Right.
So we'll get into more next week. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Wait, do
Before
you have
we
any
go,
recommendations?
yeah, I have a couple of recommendations that are coming out this week that we think you should pick up. For one, if you are excited about Birds of Prey, they are reprinting the Gail Simone Ed Benez collection called Murder and Mystery. Here's another tale of murder and mystery from Gail Simone. It's a classic Birds of Prey run. I personally, I don't know what we're gonna cover in back issues. I've got one ready to go. It is a Gail Simone Ed Benez book. It's not murder mystery. I don't think I'll have time to grab it. But if you want to like see sample it, it's interesting. The cover, unfortunately, I believe, is done by none other than
It is Greg Land. I can
Greg
see his
Land.
signature.
Yeah. So you got that going on.
Hashtag goat.
The other thing I want to recommend is a trade paperback that I've been waiting for forever, and it's finally here. I'm so excited. I'm gonna buy it when it comes out, and then I'm gonna do it on back issues as soon as I can.
Oh yeah?
It's Acts of Vengeance. Acts of Vengeance is finally getting a trade.
Oh.
The only thing I found of Acts of Vengeance in any collected form is the Acts of Vengeance tie-in omnibus, which I have seen everywhere at significantly reduced rates, because who the hell wants all the tie-ins for Acts of Vengeance without the book?
That's fair.
Nobody. And what do you mean the tie-ins? The thing's this thick.
That's a lot of tie-ins.
That's too many tie without the book? I ain't reading that.
That's too many tie-ins.
That being said, I think I have it.
Do you really?
I think
You're like, I apparently want the tie-ins.
No, I did. I bought it because I'm like, there's no way it's just the tie-ins.
You're like, oh crap.
Oops,
it's just
it
the
is.
tie-ins.
But yeah, this is Dwayne McDuffie, man. So I'm excited. It's super fun. So we're gonna pick that up, and I think you should too. So yeah, from there, let's pick out our winner. So Danielle's gonna grab some goats. Oh yeah, that's right. You got it. I didn't realize you had time to grab one. So what?
I did it before you did it.
Oh great. Well, what do you got? What are you
I
recommending?
told you under that site.
Yeah.
X-Men number 5 is going to be coming out this week,
Yes.
so definitely be checking that out. I'm going to check out Doctor Strange number 2 by Mark Waid, because like some of it was exciting for me and some of it not so much. So I'm gonna do it. There's also Doctor Strange: The End coming out. It's written by Leah Williams. I'm not familiar. When Full Strikes Back.
Yeah, nobody liked that one.
With Felipe Andrade.
Andrade.
Yeah.
He's good.
So I will check it out. I don't know how much I'm going to like it, but we'll find out. Conan,
Yes.
the Barbarian.
Hey.
12. Jason Aaron.
So that's.
The epic conclusion of the life and death of Conan.
There you go.
Is Conan dead? Better not be.
I can't believe that they are like, here's the end.
I love the bullet points for this. It says, Razazel has risen, Conan has fallen, Crumb may not care, but you cannot miss this issue. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. I
Yes.
am so ridiculously excited for this issue.
Yeah.
Jason Aaron's Conan has been such a delight. Very different in its storytelling.
Yep.
Again, I love what Jim Zub did. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's done a phenomenal
And
job.
he'll do a good
Man
job when he takes over
knows
Conan.
the lore. The way Aaron told the story, though, was very much up my alley.
Yeah.
Something Has Killed the Children #5.
Yay!
Coming out from Boom. James Tynion IV. You know I love that. I know a lot of you have been digging on this. I am behind one issue, so I'm going to catch up on Philadelphia.
All right.
The book that has like a title that it really just speaks to me.
Yeah, it's great.
So ridiculous. And Justice League Dark #19.
Right. This week, Justice League also is coming out. It's the last Scott Snyder Justice League.
Oh, crap. And we're coming up to the end of Justice League Dark for Tynion, but not yet.
Yes.
Not yet. You got some crazy stuff going on with this Wonder Woman cover.
Yeah.
I love this, like, almost not quite electric blue Wonder Woman over here.
Oh, my God. That'd be amazing.
So this is just some of my recommendations for the week of things that I am looking forward to, and some things that I'm not so much looking forward to, but I'm still going to read it anyway.
That's fair.
But mostly going to be looking
Let Aaron know that this is the biggest champion of his Conan run, please, because it'd be nice for him to see how many books we've sold.
I don't even care about that. Like,
I
know
do.
how
I'm
much
like, no.
I freaking love this
I do know how much
story.
you've loved it. You've been championing it the entire time.
Oh my god! Like each story is just an amazing vignette and look into the life of Conan, and like so many unforgettable moments. For me, I think my #1 is the story of King Conan and his lion.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the King Conan and the lion thing is just such a heartwarming and moving thing about like the idea of like getting something that you've always wanted, and then like it not being what you thought it might be.
Of course,
and like the idea of like caging something wild.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not gonna. It can't live like that.
So to let everybody know who the winner is, we have a winner selected. It's all ready to good to go.
Oh,
so
crap.
let's get the book. So the winner, and this winner has to live in the continental United States and also has to be in the chat right now to be able to sound off. So the winner of this 100 or 1 out of 100 variant of Quantum and Woody, signed by Chris Hastings, is none other than El Camino. El Camino, congratulations on winning this.
El Camino?
Yes,
That's
El Camino won this Fool's Gold variant by Giuseppe Camuncoli, signed by Chris Hastings, 1 out of 100. It's a gorgeous cover, and it's really cool, and it's a great issue too. So and if you want a copy of Quantum and Woody, comes out on sale on Wednesday. So this Wednesday, pick up Quantum and Woody #1. If you want to know what it looks like without gold all over it, it looks like this. So once El Camino sounds off and lets us know that he is here and he is able to win and he is able to accept his winnings, he will let us know, and then we'll be good to go.
There's a lot happening on
But
this
yes, there's a lot happening. I love it, and there's more to come from from Hastings and the Quantum and Woody run as we go. It's really exciting. By the way, El Camino, email me at sal@comicpop.net to send me your address, and I'll make sure that you get it. If, of course, you're still here, that is. Well, it says he's still there. He's not responding, though. So we're going to give it another, let's call it 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
To respond.
30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds on the clock. And if he doesn't respond, we're going to have to move on. Because stick around, ladies and gentlemen, otherwise you'll lose your winnings. I don't know why we do this. But it's a dope book. I'm excited. I remember when the good people at Valiant gave me that copy, they were like, "Do you want?"
Hey! Oh no,
Yeah.
Never mind. I thought I saw it.
Yeah, no, that was somebody else.
That was somebody else. It was me out of the corner of my eye because I was reading.
Yeah. But yeah, when they gave me that copy, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna give this away." I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool." All right, well, we're moving on.
Okay.
Sorry, El Camino, that was the end of that. So the real winner of this episode is Moon Knight 32. Hey, Moon Knight 32, you there? Great name, by the way. I got nothing to say.
I'm just reading the book.
I don't want to fill the void with my friggin' voice all the time, but like if Moon Knight 32 is there,
we've got a couple of episodes to catch up on Harley.
Oh, I know. No, we have 3 more to go.
I know, but like we were so close to only having 1 left, and I prefer the binge option.
It's true.
So I was like, oh, let's wait.
Yeah.
Let's wait.
I know. But now it's like almost done.
Hey, There's Moon Knight.
Hey, all right, Moon Knight 32,
He'll coach
congratulations. All right, Moon Knight 32, email me, sal@comicpop.net. You will get this copy. I'll make sure it goes in the mail in the next 2 days.
It's been a good time for Moon Knight today.
So here it is. This is yours.
This is yours.
You own this now.
I'm touching your
I don't own
comic.
this. Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna seal it up, send it out. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. So yeah, that's it. And hey, El Camino, if you ever show up, let me know and I'll mail you a sticker or something. But yeah, all right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next week with an all-new episode. But don't fret. If you love comics and you love this channel, or if you're just joining us for the first time, listen. We got a ton of stuff coming out this week. I'll give you the lowdown this week. Obviously, off the rack. This episode will be finished, recorded. Then I'm gonna drop it. It's gonna come out. It's gonna be out Tuesday. We're gonna have a live chat pre-recorded episode of Elseworlds Exchange. That's right, Elseworlds moved to Tuesday afternoons, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch Elseworlds Exchange. Normally it'll be live this time around because Jason Inman of Jowin was kind enough to hang out with me and chat. We chatted for like 7 hours or whatever. We got 2 episodes out of the deal. This next episode's coming out. It's going to be the Superman One More Day episode where we talk about the theory that they're going to one more day Superman. Find out more. Also, Jason's a font of information. He's got a lot of fun conversation to have.
Yeah.
Also, if you like Jason, you want to help him out, JupiterJetComic.com. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. I'll be in the chat to chat with you while it's happening. We're going to make it a premiere, so you'll be there to hang out with us. It'll still be happening. So yeah, Moon Knight 32, sal@comicpop.net. Email me, and I'll get your address, and I'll send you the book. Then on Wednesday, A Crisis is returning to back issues. We're finally doing a major DC crisis.
Exciting.
It's exciting. If you're a patron, you've already seen the episode. It's already there. For you
don't
to watch.
ruin it.
And don't ruin it for everybody. No, it's fine. Tomorrow I'll probably talk about it. But yeah, and that'll be it until next week because I got tons of stuff coming out and tons of stuff coming up. But we got to find time to shoot it all. If you are a patron, I launched. I've been going back to the archives of Elseworlds Exchange, and I'm like cleaning them up, and I'm putting them up because there's only 150-ish episodes of Elseworlds available on Spotify and all the audio shows. So instead of just like letting them sit there, I'm remastering the old episodes of Elseworlds, making them a little more tolerable audio-wise, and then re-releasing them over on our Spotify and iTunes accounts.
Oh, that's smart.
And I'm taking any of the pre-show stuff, all the earlier crap, anything that's like more than a minute or two, I'm pulling that out and I'm dumping it over on Patreon as a show called Lost Tracks, which is a little bit of a fun little audio thing for you. So Lost Tracks over on Patreon, One Shots, another spin-off from Elseworlds Exchange, and of course Elseworlds Exchange Revisited is coming out. Every week I'm going to drop a new old episode of Elseworlds that you couldn't find audio-wise through Spotify or iTunes or all the other ones, Stitcher, all that other crap. So it's a lot of fun. So if you are interested in any of that, go to patreon.com/comicpop and help us out. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.